YouTube, Dailymotion, Facebook, and Tumblr fans. Today we're going to take a look at the brand new studio album by Iron Savior entitled Rise of the Hero. Now, before we begin, Iron Savior is a power metal band formed in the late 1990s and has been releasing consistent material ever since 1997, even spanning a 5-album concept, a science fiction story based off of these over the course of 5 albums. This is amazing to me. I mean, the first 5 albums were pretty decent. I didn't actually go in depth as to look up what the story actually meant, but even hearing about it, it continues the same science fiction story up until like maybe the mid 2000s. I mean, it's practically unheard of. It's the longest sci-fi concept that I've pretty much ever come across. So this is a band that really should need no introduction, but they are very under the radar. They're very underrated in the power metal scene. Unfortunately, Dragon Force has pretty much gobbled up any sort of popularity that power metal has to offer. But that being said, I do believe that this band, Iron Savior, is basically Dragon Force meets maybe Iron Maiden or Metallica or somewhere in there, or just some sort of grand scale metal band, because they're not necessarily overblown like Dragon Force, but they do definitely have a lot of talent. I mean, Dragon Force on one hand has all these solos that they can't play live, and they sound really overblown, and they sound like they're out of place, but here everything is fine-tuned to perfection, practically, in their discography. Now, Rise of the Hero is definitely no slouch, it's definitely no exception to this rule, but on this album I find that there is more of the same. Now, this could be construed as a negative, but I like to turn it around and make it into a positive. Now, this sounds almost exactly like 2011's release, The Landing, which actually featured a lot of distortion, a lot of different echoing effects, a lot of different vocal kind of harmonies as well, and there was a lot of progression in the choruses and the verses, so it was a little bit more on the progressive side, but this is a little bit more straightforward. The actual tempos of the songs are sped up a little bit, with the exception of Dragon King, which is actually my favorite song, but they do each sound epic in their own right. One thing, though, I do have to say against the lyricism of Iron Savior is they use the word forevermore way too much. I mean, it's almost like using moreover in every single review. Moreover, if I were to moreover everything. Wait, I used to do that a lot. Never mind, I'm just as bad, oh my god, no. Anyways, but no, in all seriousness, Iron Savior uses the word forevermore in at least 4 of their songs on this album. I even heard it a few times on The Landing. I mean, it must be a popular word for them to use. Maybe it's like certain phrases from certain songs that certain bands use to maybe pay tribute to their other songs. But in this, it's used pretty much all the time in those 4 songs. I don't remember what the names of them are, but every time I hear a Forevermore, it really stands out. And it's just really jarring a little bit, because you know that it has been used so many times on Iron Savior's other past work. So, it is used on Last Hero, I know that for sure. It's used on Revenge of the Bride, Burning Heart, which was actually the lead single. And let me tell you, Burning Heart is actually a pretty decent, fast-paced, awesome power metal song. But, it was a decent single as well. I actually thought of reviewing it, but then I thought, you know what, no, I'll just stick to doing Rise of the Hero when it comes out. Because if I get too bogged down by actual singles, I will start to be, running out of ideas for title cards and such. But when it comes down to it, this is a pretty decent album, but it definitely doesn't live up to The Landing. I would definitely say that Rise of the Hero has a better artwork as well. I mean, seriously, just look this shit up on Google. Rise of the Hero, Iron Savior. I guarantee you will want to put it as a poster. It looks so cool. I actually might want to print it out after reviewing it, because it looks really awesome just staring at it over there on my big screen TV over there. But with that being said, it is actually a very decent album. It's very straightforward. It sounds like a little bit more of the same, and the innovation definitely seems to be wearing on this band. But when it comes down to it, they're good songs in their own right. I mean, everything from Last Hero to Fist Raiser. The only songs that I was really on the edge about were Revenge of the Bride, Dance with Somebody, and The Demon, because they were a little bit, out there. Dance with Somebody in particular was really interesting because All the other songs are pretty much just straightforward, a little bit faster, with the exception of Dragon King, like I said, but it still sounds like it fits on the album. This one, I don't know where it fits. It seems like, I mean, Dance with Somebody, it just seems like it's not Iron Savior's style. It just seems like they're trying to make a radio-oriented single, and it just doesn't work for them. I don't know why. It's not necessarily a bad song. It's just not a good fit for Rise of the Hero. With that being said, Fist Razor is another one of my favorites I have to bring up. This one is a sick, I mean awesomely sick, wicked fast-paced closer. One of the best closers I've heard all year, with the exception of maybe the closer off of Plagues of Babylon. But that being said, you know, this one I would definitely rate a little bit higher than that. But Plagues of Babylon did have some pretty decent songs on it. But then again, Dragon King, wicked intro, love the intro. I love the use of the synthesizers as well, and the lead singer's vocals on this song are just superb. And just the riff structure as well is just really awesome to listen to. So, with that being said, I am not necessarily going to do a track-by-track on this, as I would be saying virtually the same thing about every song, with the exception of Dragon King, because they're all pretty much structured the exact same way. And like I said, you could construe this as a bad thing, but Iron Savior turned it around and make it work. So, with that, I am going to rate this album probably 8.5, 9 out of 10. So, I'll go with 9 out of 10. I really liked it. So, with that, thank you very much for watching. This is Midnight Strike 3625. If you haven't already, check out Iron Savior. 9 out of 10 for Rise of the Hero. Keep calm and rock on.